What it do, folks? What it do? Let me throw the headphones in and we're going to get started. All right, so today I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been working on for a little bit, and I've been having, I'm going to just say, a wee bit of success with it so far, and I thought it would be a good idea to come in and sort of tell you where I'm at. Just mad interesting. I made a graphic for this, but I just realized in my making of said graphic that I made it impossible to read on this background. So I'm just going to remake it while I'm talking to you real fast, because all I got to do is just go in and change the colors of the letters. It was kind of stupid how I did it. Thought I was being cute, but I'm going to stop being cute and just go and fix this, and then we'll call it a day. All right, anyway, so what I wanted to talk to you about a little bit here is I have been reading and digging into this book by Tiago Forte, and it is called Building a Second Brain. And one of the key elements, like even if you didn't get into the whole system, which is dope, by the way, but even if you didn't get into the whole system, there is a key element part of it that I thought could help out the majority of the people that come and hang out with us and talk story with us, so forth, so on, and etc. And part of that has to do with the fact of just we are all in this pattern where everybody is learning something new and trying to put it all in. And the overarching statement I hear from people is still that they feel overwhelmed. You guys know how much I hate that word. Listen, let me clear something up. Matter of fact, I'm going to stop the background for a second because I just want to make sure everybody understands this mad clearly. The reason why I feel so strong about telling yourself things like I am overwhelmed, or that I'm going to get burnout, or that I have imposter syndrome, or this, that, and the next thing is, listen, if you fight for your limitations, you will win. Point freaking blank. I don't care what it is. If you were to go into the Barnes and Nobles, because they're still physical at this point, or the library, or the used bookstore in your neighborhood, and you pick up any single book off of the shelf help category, any single book, I don't care what it is, grab any one of the books off the shelf help category, and one of the things that they would tell you is the first step to alleviating whatever problem this book is written about, and I've read hundreds of them, is to stop telling yourself whatever it is that you're trying to fix. Right? So, like, if you've been telling yourself that you're disorganized and you're reading a book on organization, one of the first things they'll do is tell you to stop telling yourself you're disorganized. You just have a bunch of stuff and haven't figured out where to put it yet. If you're reading a book about weight loss, one of the first things they'll tell you to do is stop calling yourself fat. If you're trying to give up smoking, one of the first things they tell you to do is don't say that you're quitting the smoking, but to just say, I'm not a smoker. Like, just changing the verbiage from I'm trying to quit smoking to I am not a smoker completely changes the game. Listen, hold up. Stop the freaking presses. All right, listen. I'm over here trying to give an important speech, and the one thing that we didn't need to happen today is for India to pop her butt up up in here, knowing I cannot not get distracted when I see my little sister India. What's happening? What's happening? New York in the building. All right, anyway, now she's in Philly, though. which is which is silly. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't right. Don't say I'm quitting. Not that kind of smoking in Eden. Please do not get your boy. No, not that kind of quit your smoking. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, anyway, before we dive into what I'm trying to tell you, is the most important thing I could teach you from any of my videos, from anything I talk about, even if you ignore everything I say, trust this to gospel. If you fight for your limitations, you will absolutely win. Val, I'm so happy to see you pop up because Val was one of these people, right? She was fighting me tooth and nail for her limitation. And I was like, look, you can win. I'm not trying to be right. Like, let's be honest. Listen. Here comes the inside secret. I'm going to tell you that I don't care. She know good and well I cared because I fought with her every day for like a week. I would just be like, I don't care whether you win or lose. You still going to lose, right? But if you keep fighting for your limitation, but if you let that limitation go and be the Val that we all know you can be, yo, you fitting to be dope, fam. You're fitting to be dope, right? And then she was like, nah, man, I can't do this, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, whatever, man. Like, just do it anyway. And she was like, nah, doc, like, you don't understand, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it doesn't matter if I understand. Just do it anyway. And so, you know what, doc? Get out of my face. I hate you, blah, blah, blah. And then, hi, y'all. This is Val. I'm only doing this because Doc can keep giving me shit. So I don't, anyway, so let me tell y'all, 7 days straight. At the end of the 7 days, Val was like, I'm only doing this for 7 days. I quit. Now, see, I did it. So shut up and get out of my face. And then day 8 pop up. Hey, y'all, this is Val. How y'all feeling, Saints? Yeah, check this out. I'm fixing to do. And then next thing you know, we are backstage in London with my friend Diana, Ross. Y'all might know. She's just Diana to me. Like, all of that, right? Val was fighting me tooth and nail, and now you can't get rid of her. I'm just saying. If you fight for your limitations, you can absolutely win them. There are people who are dying to prove me wrong. And I'm okay with that. My feelings ain't hurt. If you want to listen, here's my statements. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to be by myself because I do have a backup group. Not like Val, but I have a backup group. Diana will be the first person to tell you the same thing that I'm going to tell you. Neither one of us, and I'm sure there's more of us, neither one of us fully believe in what everybody is calling imposter syndrome. Right? Maybe Dr. Rosencrantz and, some of her team who came up with the original paper, maybe they had something that they were talking about. But what is going around the internet, the thing that people rediscovered in circa 2018 or 2019 and started talking about imposter syndrome, that is not the same research paper from Dr. Paula Rosencrantz back in the day. This is just people coming onto the internet looking for a way to build tribe, and they start self-prescribing things that ain't really like, yo, trust me, all of us black folks and women folks and, other marginalized folks, we have got a case of I'm not good enough, normally relied on us by somebody else. Somebody else put these hands on us and told us that, and we started believing it. That's a little bit different from quote unquote imposter syndrome. And in the flow today, I was talking about there's really no such thing as stage fright. And then Rich was mad because he said, just because you don't have it don't mean people that it's not real. And I'm like, okay, let's get scientific. Because you know me, like I'm a science person, right? I'm not just going up here and start talking some smack out of the side of my neck. Glossophobia or fear of public speaking is not a bona fide phobia. It is something that people put on themselves that if you were a child and you grew up and no one ever told you that speaking in front of a crowd is scary, you have never stood on the stage and been scary. How do I know? Because I live in Hawaii. Well, what does that have to do with anything? People in Hawaii, especially of Chinese, Korean, Filipino, or Japanese descent grow up with a karaoke machine in their house. You start having to sing from little bitty children age, right? From the minute you can stand there and hold the mic and carry your words, you get taught to sing karaoke, good, bad, and different. It doesn't matter whether you got pipes like Stephanie Gaga or whether you sing like India Delgado, they will make you sing. So what happens is by the time people of that upbringing get to a place where they have to sing or go out on the stage or whatever, they don't have those same glossophobias because it got taken out of you when you're a child. Most of us as adults have quote unquote glossophobia because when you were a little children and you got put in school, the teachers told you to read out loud, and maybe you couldn't read in that voice that sounds like you're Paul Duncan. You couldn't flow without a stutter here and there or skipping the word. Maybe all you needed was glasses. Maybe everybody thought you couldn't read because what it was you couldn't see. Or maybe you have dyslexia or some other things that sort of connect. And once you get that first initial, somebody jumped on my case while I was doing it out loud, that's when the brakes hit. And you know how you know this? Roll up to any 5 or 6-year-old right now, and once you get them talking, good luck. They ain't gonna stop. And you go to the store today, you go to the grocery store and you walk around and some little kid will roll up on you and be like, hi! And the mom be like, hey, don't talk to strangers. She just broke that kid. Right? Don't talk to strangers. Only speak when spoken to. This type of person is going to get you. The boogeyman is going to get you. The left is going to get you. The right is going to get you. The middle is going to get you. The people that sport this particular flag are going to get you. That's when it all starts to come in, when we're little children, right? If you don't buy those vegetables, you never have them. So you grow up without them. So I'm just saying, I could be wrong. I'm more than happy to be wrong, but I personally do not know of a single person who's ever gone to a psychologist or a shrink to get rid of their fear of public speaking. So it's a fear that we take and we say we have, but you've never gone to a clinician to get it fixed. So do you really have it? It's like the amount of people that run around the planet claiming that they have ADD, but they don't actually have ADD. It's a badge. It's a badge because everybody else who's finally come out and start talking about their real deal ADD or ADHD, 2 separate things, by the way. And then, now people feel like it's okay to say they have it. Or people that like to say, just because I keep my pencils neat on my desk, I get to say I have OCD. So just like people have started to wear those badges as a thing, people are starting to wear the badges of imposter syndrome or creator burnout. Listen, no such effing thing as creator burnout. You can have burnout, exhaustion, overexertion. I've worked too hard. I don't have enough resources. My brain can barely close thoughts. I am in a fog because I've worked so crazily that I am now lost and I need to talk to someone. Yes, you can come out in the planet and say you have burnout. I sat down to make a YouTube video and I ran out of ideas. My sponsor is making me make a video that I don't want to make because I don't really like this product and I took on this contract, but I don't agree. And I think I'm out here lying about how good this thing really is. And I don't want to do that. That ain't burnout. That's you took a bag that you wasn't really capable of or ready for, or you just found out later on that company's values doesn't align with your values. Something brushes against your values, it creates a really, really strong resistance. You don't get to just tack creator in the front of burnout and call it burnout. I'm sorry, people need to stop that mess. And I hear all my friends, people who I know and love, who are buying into the BS. And it's like one of my friends being a flat earther. I just really want to just hold them tightly and tell them, no, you can't have this. I'm not going to allow you to have something that's not real. Stop telling yourself this. Stop owning your limitations. Whatever your limitation is, challenge it. I have a limitation right now, right? My A1C got creepily close to having to inject myself with insulin on a daily basis. I've been 6 months working on bringing that back. I went to the doctor yesterday. I had my test checked up, and she's like, yo, you dropped your glucose by 22 points. This is dope. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm winning. And she's like, yo, but your A1C only moved back like a point. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, yo, but I've been doing all of the things and all the things. And you know what she did? She looked me square in my face with her little coffee, and she said, do more. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? So I currently have a limitation that I love me ice cream. I do. Eden would tell you, yo, we will walk blocks to get a good ice cream. But I can't love it like that anymore. I got to get a fetal scoop. We have a store here. They call it a fetal scoop. It's one tiny little scoop, right? I can get a single. I can't make the sundae like, you know, me and Eden throwing back a gigantic freaking Ghirardelli sundae. I can't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, so my reality is that I have to go down to a single scoop or eliminate it altogether, which ain't freaking happening. It's not my world. I'd rather die first. I ain't gonna lie. But I could just say, I'm going to fight for my limitation, and I don't care what the doctors say. Me and Eden finna go to Ghirardelli's and get the giant triple scoop chocolate fudge, nuts, all of that mess. I could win. I could be right about eat what I want. But then it gonna be like Tuesday, hey man, where's Doc? Woo! We gotta pour out a little liquor for Doc because he gone. You know what I'm saying? You can fight for this limitation. Diana, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you, because how this started was I was trying to talk to folks about stop trying to own things like imposter syndrome, because you and I have fully had conversations about it ain't what it is. It's not what people are calling. And again, you know, not to rehash what I said, I also, creative burnout's not real, dude. Real deal burnout, like bust yourself so hard that you hit exhaustion. We've seen artists do that, right? Hey, you know what? The other day, Kodak Black got sent to the hospital. More than likely, that kid is like show after show after show with the drinking and the no sleeping and the partying and whatever, and you just run your body to the point when your body can't do no more. I've been in the music business. I've seen artists work themselves to exhaustion and have to go to the hospital and need an IV. Those things, that's exhaustion. That's real deal burnout. That's clinical burnout. But like being a creator and running out of ideas and be like, I got creative burnout. Come on, fam. Stop. Stop telling yourself this craziness. And stop. It's okay. If other people want to do this, cool. People in our group, please do not fall for that. If you do, I'm not going to hate you. I will love you, and I would try to talk you out of it. But watching somebody else have it and then telling yourself that you got to have it too, no. Right? No. People blaming this for all of their problems, no. Because there are people that have these that don't have those problems. Why? Because they don't buy into it. If you open up your social media app and all you do is get in arguments about politics and, you know, look at skinny people and feel like you thick with 2, 3, 4, 5 C's, like a case of C's, thick with a case of C's. Look at somebody with some sick whip and your bucket can barely run. Like, yeah, maybe if you if you know that bothers you, then don't look at it. You can curate your feed in under 2 days. Like the things that you like. Comment on the things that make you feel good. Scroll past things that make you feel bad. Scroll past things that test your faith. Scroll past them people that just heinous. And within 2 or 3 days, the algorithm has re-alg and go rhythm, then you won't see that mess. Now you can pick up your phone and enjoy your freaking feed like a boss. If you curate the dumbness out of your feed, you won't see it. You just won't. So no, social media is ruining the world. No, it's not. Before the phone was ever invented, before social media was ever invented, people were enslaving folks and trafficking folks and treating folks like others and being a-holes to folks. It always existed. Social media just makes it visible. So this means you have an opportunity to do something. So one of the things you could do, create good content. If you want the heinous content to disappear, create good content, which is what we all here for. And then, you know what? We would just outshout them fools. You ever been in a Pentecostal church? You know why it's so loud? They're trying to outshout the devil. I'm sorry, somebody gonna kick my butt for that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to Instagram and tell it to reset your whole feed. You can go to, I believe in YouTube, there's a button to go and reset your whole feed. Like, you can start your algorithm from zero. I really believe there's a way. One of these days, we'll talk about it. Anyway, some folks engage in not even talking about burnout. They crank up, right, and get where they need to go. Yes, sorry, engine. There you go. I'm sorry. Like, it's really funny. I just don't want my people. I really don't want you guys to. I wasn't supposed to talk about this today, but I don't want you to own these things that other people be talking about, because I think everybody in our crew is far more dope than that. You know what I'm saying? It was just, yeah. We're just way too dope for that. And I have friends who I know and love that are just buying into all of this BS. And not to get heavy into homie's business, how the conversation started recently was like, oh, I saw Sean say that, Think Media is going to take a break because they wanted to, make sure that everybody is good with their mental health and things like that. Partially true. The other part of it is wifey is sick and he really needs to take a break. I think it's easier to explain the former than it is the latter. So rather than getting deep into what's really going on and having a whole bunch of people scared, he was just like, we're just going to take off for a minute. And it's a perfect time to take a break. And hey, let's all hope that, she gets better fast, because Sean's a dope cat. His company is full of incredible people. Here's a funny thing. And yes, you might be the type of person that needs to take breaks from things because you have an addictive personality. You might be, I need to take a break from eating ice cream. So I'm going to take a break for the next couple of months so that when I see eating in October, we finna F up some ice cream and some Doritos, Cheetos, Diana, right? I'm willing to take that break so that when I do see my homie, I don't have to tell her, hey, man, we can't eat ice cream. I can just eat it that day because I hadn't had one for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you have it too, right? Some people do need to take these breaks. Some people do need to sort of reset. And mindfulness is true. I believe in that. Taking time to breathe and absorb it, I believe that. But hearing other people talk about their quote unquote glossophobia doesn't make it contagious, right? Just because somebody else is afraid to speak in public don't mean you got it. Just because somebody else is afraid of a camera for no good reason don't mean you got it. Don't just grab somebody else's afflictions and add them to your own. And also, that doesn't mean that they're actually real. K-Walk, from Amesbury, you can get to 4 states within 5 minutes. So we all good in the hood. Anyway, I'm sorry. I did not mean to go on that epic rant, but it just needed to be said, fam. Y'all can't keep fighting for your limitations. And that's why I'm so happy that Val was here, because Val has busted through them limitations, but she told herself all of that craziness, and I wouldn't let her own any of it because I'm a good friend. Friends don't let friends drive drunk, and friends don't let friends tell themselves that they can't do something craziness. Come on, Aunt. This is where we was last week. Last week, we talked about being response-able. I'm responsible, right? I'm going to do it. I had a whole family that was afraid of all myriad things. I had a whole family that wouldn't watch horror movies because they thought the devil was going to come and get them because they watched a horror movie. They equated horror movies with backsliding. I'm like, yo, it's a TV. It's plastic and glass. If you stand behind the TV, the boogeyman disappears. You stand in front of the TV, clown with a balloon in the sewer, right? But like to them, because of their heavy indoctrinating with the book, like they thought for real, they was going to hell for watching a horror movie. And so that made me just love the living heck out of horror movies. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, no. Hey, we good. We good, K-Walk. I'm just saying. Just been a week in Canton, Ohio. Had some Amish ice creams. Oh yeah, there's a place that Katie makes us go to that the ice cream was just good. Yo, thank you, Miss D. Thank you, Miss D. Anyway, what? No, the ring wasn't real, but I bet a dime against two fat boys when you come out the shower with that wet hair, you look just like that. 7 days. Wait, let me stop messing with Eden and stop picking on my friend. You know what I'm saying? True is true. Hey, appreciate you, Miss D. Appreciate you. Look, I want to let y'all in on my little secret now. Here, I've been reading this book. It's amazing, by the way. It's called something Second Brain, whatever. I'll get you the name of the book in a second. But it's by Tiago Forte. And so, although I'm mad late into this, here's the secret. The secret is code. Capture, organize, distill, and express. Now, I will explain each and every one of these as we go along and we talk about it, and then also be about it. I've been so busy. I forgot my dang notes. All right. So one of the key elements of this book, what it do, Mr. Mooney? One of the key elements of this book, in the beginning, Tiago is like, I'm going to teach you how to develop a personal knowledge management system, right? A PKM. Because here's what it is. All of us are out here in these streets. We're all learning new things. We're all collecting as we go. And one of the things that happens, right? You're running around, you collect this tidbit, right? You know how I know this happens? I would tell you. I have said on 100 times that this is how you do this. And then one day we'll be doing the stream and somebody will posit a question. Let's just say Andrew. And I'm like, oh, hey, here's how you do this. You just drag this over here, click, 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 and it works. And then Eden would be like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that. And I just want to look at her like, friend, as one of my besties, you have watched me show people that about 30 times. And you missed all of those, but then Andrew said it, and you like, oh yeah, look, this cool. And I'll be like, fam, what the exact hell? It's because sometimes we're so busy collecting and we don't put them in a place where we can action it. That doesn't make any sense, but just trust me, it will in a second. You collect stuff, but you don't make it actionable, so you forget that you have it, and you have all of these notes. Everybody in this chat probably has pages upon pages upon pages upon pages of notes about live streaming, podcasting, producing events, live selling, like all these things they've collected over the many years of Ecamm Fam. And if I told you to recall some of them, you couldn't recall them. Why? Because you're not putting them into practice. Why? Because you don't have your PKM. Okay, so we're going to get down first with the PKM, and I just added S because I like systems. Save yourself stress, time, and energy and money system, right? So a PKM is a personal knowledge management, and I just added system. You don't have to add the S. Anyway, so that's what Tiago calls it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Tiago's right. Because I got things in Apple Notes. I got things in Evernote still, because you can't get them out. It's really hard. I got things in like little clippings that I pulled down. What's up, man? Dude, loving the background. It's purple. So me and Maine are automatically friends. Everybody, one time for Jermaine in the building. And yes, I just made up calling you Maine. I'm sure somebody else does. I just never call people by their name, right, Mooney? So yes, you want to go ahead and build yourself a way for you to get the things. So you have all seen me be like, what the heck did I do with that thumbnail? Where did I put it? Like, I'll be collecting stuff all over the place, but you don't necessarily make it actionable. And then sometimes you go back to get it and you can't get it because it's gone, right? So the advantage of building yourself a PKM, even if you don't read the book, which I suggest you do, is that you set yourself up in a way that when you capture something, first step, and you go to organize it for actionability, right? So in other words, if I pull down you know what? I had one that just happened to me today. I relaunched Ecamm because we updated the new beta. And when the new beta relaunched, a window popped up from Camo and it said, do you like Camo? Leave a review. And then it has another button that says, well, remind me later. Not right now. What they added to that screen that I can't say that I've seen anywhere else, maybe I haven't just ignored it, they've added a button that said, do you need help? And I was like, this is freaking brilliant. Why? A lot of apps will ask you every once in a while if you haven't, even Instagram recently, boom, if you like this app, please leave a review, remind me later, or go away and never come back. The one thing that Camo added to their little pop-up, which was brilliant, was I need help. The reason why a lot of times that pop-up pops up when somebody restarted the app. Why are they restarting the app? Because they're having a problem. And you ask them to leave a review for the first time they restarted that app in 6 months, and they pissed at you. So you about to get a heinous review. So what I thought was brilliant was Camo saying, hey, I need help, because you would click that and then you'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Before I call Eden some names her mama won't be proud about, let me send in a ticket to see if I can find out why when I connect my phone, it cuts off after 5 minutes. It doesn't. I'm just saying, if that was your problem. Then that way somebody would help you, you're more likely to leave a good review. So I thought that was brilliant, and I just took a screenshot of it. You take that screenshot and you move it. Well, it's on my other computer. Now I need to bring it down here, but I need to put it in a place where it can be cloud oriented so that I can get it when I'm down here. That's Notion, right? For me, that's Notion. Also Apple Notes, right? So right now, don't get caught up in what you collect in whatever works for you. But the main thing is that you collect it. Now, that's the capture side of it. But I want to add something to the capture side of it that I believe Tiago touches on in the book, but I actually have a whole nother book about this. It's called Taking Smarter Notes, and it's about the Zettelkaisen system. It's a German situation, and I can't remember the author's name right now because it's not easy to say. Taking Better Notes. No, Taking Smarter Notes. That's what it's called. AMAZON. Let me see. It's in my library. Oh my goodness. There it is. It's called How to Take Smart Notes. That's what it's called. Boy, you can learn to speak English, boy. All right, we'll copy that. And then, boom, let me paste this. So in this system, and one of the key elements is, I'll use that same example of the Camo pop-up. Let me see if I open up Camo Desktop, if it'll come back. Camo Studio. It just popped up, and it did it. It did it. All right, no. But yeah, that I guess because on this computer I use Camo every day, so it's not nagging me. But anyway, what you do is say you grab a nugget, right? Like, okay, here's a prime example. Say you're going to copy this link so that you can go and grab this book by C.O.D.E, right? Instead of just capturing it to your Apple Notes, instead of just grabbing it or writing it down on your little card like I be doing, you must add your own personal sauce, right? Don't just write something down verbatim. The other day in class, Alicia dropped a heater on us. She smoked us with a very dope saying. And she said, listen, it's called all you can eat, not all you can carry. And the whole class was like, oh, you know, like when you be jonesing on the corner in front of the bodega and then you hit somebody with a good one. It was like that. And so imagine, like, I love that statement. Like, I'm going to put this in my journal. I'm going to write something down. Take a second to say how it affected you, how it made you feel, what's so dope about it. If you can remember the name of the person who said it and the time and place where they said it, write that down quickly. If you're not in a position to write, say, excuse me, turn around, take your phone and be like, hey, phone. Alicia just dropped the heater on us in class. She said, it's not all you can eat. It's all you can eat, not all you can carry. Listen, the reason why that is so dope is trying to tell you that in a situation like we're learning about all of this information, we're grabbing all of this information and we're trying to hoard it like, you know, we're going to run out of it. But you should only take in information that you could actually absorb and do something with, put them to effect. So that's a personal note. Boom. Stop. And then go back to your business, right? If you can't stop and write, Evernote used to have a thing that says, I'm not ignoring you, I'm taking notes, right? Take a moment and capture, even if you can't do it in a minute, be like, hey, I'm writing this down. Here's a personal note. And you come back to it that night and then add your flavor. But don't just put things into your capture system. Again, I'm not going to get into which one is best. Put something on there as to why that one stuck to you, right? Some memories are just indelible. They just hit you so hard that your brain does this. But we live in a place now where there's so much info that you take in way more than you can actually use, right? This is why people have that feeling of overwhelm, because they feel like they have to react to them all the time, okay? So in your personal management system, the thing is, you want to make these ideas. We're going to call all of the stuff we capture ideas, whether knowledge, books, titles, rhymes, pictures, restaurants to go to. We're just going to call it ideas for now to make this easy. You want to make your ideas concrete by writing them down. And writing them down can manifest itself as pen and paper, which is probably one of the easiest, by the way. You can write them down by leaving voice memos in your phone. You can write them down by using what I use, which is a combination of Otter and Audio Pen, to say the voice memo and have it transcribed into something that's, you know, functional. And then if you pull a link, right? So let's come over here. And we're going to do this live. I don't know how to figure out how to do this in Ecamm, but I'm going to pull a link and I'm going to drag this in the Ecamm real quick. Hopefully I'm not locked. I'm going to drop this like it's hot. Okay, boom. So it's going to pull up this little bookie book and I'm going to put this in the corner. Then I'm going to take this little smart file and be like, heard about this from Doc. Will look at this later as I need some better. I can't type, so nobody yell at my typos. Better note capture. Bam, just like this. All right. So this is what this would look like in my Apple Notes, right? I would drop the URL, and right under the URL, I will do this. Okay, now let's just say in full face butt ass supposition, I'm out somewhere and I can't capture that for real, right? I'm gonna hit my Apple Notes real quick, and then let me do it. NDI Atrix capture real fast because I'm available. NDI Atrix capture. Sorry, just loading it up. Start this broadcast. Start. Yes. And then go over here. Wake up, Maggie. All right, so then now I got my Apple Note screen. We're gonna drop this in here right here. And then change this to tall. All right. Let's do this real quick. Let's make this just a wee bit smaller. You guys know what Apple Notes look like. I don't need to grab the whole thing for real, right? I'm going to just screen capture the icon right here. Boom. That was not what I was trying to do because that's not the phone, you dork. Oh, that makes me laugh because, wait, I gotta wake it back up. The reason why that made me laugh is I tried to drag it into the phone icon on the screen as if the phone icon on the screen, like Apple Notes was literally, never mind, you get it. I tried to drag it to here, this, because it's like I was using Apple Notes, never mind. So somebody understands. All right, anyway, so let me copy this image real quick and let me paste it here. Hopefully it works. All right, cool. And then all you gotta do is take this microphone and press the button. I heard about this book from Doc. It's about like better note taking. I really need to upgrade my note taking skills. So reminder to take a look at this soon. I'll check the library first to see if it's available because I'm a broke ass. If not, I'll just cop this from Amazon or ask someone to borrow a copy. Remember to put this in your calendar so you don't forget. That's how you should be. No, stop that. That's how you should be capturing these things. What you guys will do, I know because I do it, right? I know because I do it. What you guys will do is hear India drop a heater in a class. Hear Paul give you a link that one of us spit out, and you don't put it somewhere, and then later on, Eden will be watching the stream, and somebody will say the same thing Doctor said 50,000 times, and then you like, oh, I just found out about it. No, you didn't. I told you that mess so many times. But I do understand the closer we are, the more easier it is to ignore the gems, because that's what we do, right? Everybody in here has had their best friend or their spouse tell them something 50, 100 times, and then they just ignore it, and then the outside third-party person say the same thing, and you be like, oh my God, I wish I knew that. And that person be looking at you like, I slept the loser. So, yes, like that is important. So, including all the notes that we're capturing with like Otter, I use Otter or Audio Pen India. Girl, if you ain't peeped out my Audio Pen video, please do. It is bananas. It is literally one of the sickest things I've ever seen. I am so far in love with it. Anyway, so let me get over here and then India making fun of me because this is how I stream. You know, ain't nothing changed, girl. It's still the same. Nah, man, I got a military grade ballistic case. It's good for a 12-foot drop, at least. Anyway, so after we done captured all of this mess, the next part is organizing, right? Having all of these notes, but not putting them in a way where you can link these ideas together is going to be problematic, right? So if you're trying to get good at podcasting, you're going to go listen to a bunch of stuff and you're going to capture pieces here and there about putting together your podcast, but you need a way to link all these ideas together so that you can formulate your own plan, right? So linking your ideas together, store them for future reference so you can come back to them when needed, right? That is the organized things, right? Again, I'm going to point out in this, for right now, Use whatever you're already using. If it's Apple Notes, stick to that. If it's Notion, stick to that. If it's some other tool, stick to that. Until you can always move later. Like, don't try to learn while you're learning to code, so to speak. Just a reminder, just in case we forget, we're on O right now. It's capture, organize, distill, express. Use whatever you've been using all the way through, right? And Paul, the link is docrock.live/pen. I don't think I added it to the Doc and Paul Secret Scroll notes. Anyway, it's docrock.live/pen if you want to check out audio pen. Anyway, make sure you just put them in whatever you've been using. You can always move it later. I have been not laughing at, let's be honest, pure guilty of what I'm telling you about. So I'm telling you about from the experience. Like your mama say, look, don't do what I do what I say do. Right? I'm here. I screwed this up for so long. I bet you I'm gonna add India to this party because she's my little sister. So she ran right there with me with my bad influence. We was just collecting all kind of things and all kind of knowledge, and then just collecting it, testing it once or twice, and then moving it to the corner. All right, collect it, test it once or twice, move it to the corner, right? So I went like toenail deep in Notion when it first came out. I did a stream about like how cool it was or whatever. And then I went bright light, got shined on to something else. And then I stopped messing with Notion because I met Evie and fell in love with Evie and went all in with ClickUp. And then after that, went all in with Asana. And then after that, went back to Trello where I came from. And then after that, went back to, you know what, F all this. I'm just going to use Apple Notes. And now I'm back at Notion. So, yeah, good thing to know is you can move back and forth because it's mostly text-based anyway. So, again, don't get caught up. Hey, fam, you guys know me. I love me a card and I love me a Rocket book. I take mad notes on these joints. But what I do with these joints is I take photos of them because the phone can now transcribe your writing. Even when your writing is horrible like mine, woo! Yeah, it's pretty horrible. It can transcribe. So, this chicken scratch hatch, it can read. Yo. Yeah, it's super funny. I look at these things. And you know what? Let's just say I am mad low tech. I can't do any of this. Cool. Go like this. Open the phone. Press record. And be like, hey, today I was doing a stream talking about my jumping around through Notes app, and my homemate Avars from Latvia jumped in and said, I need to check out Obsidian. To me, Obsidian is a rock which you use to make arrows, but I would take a look at it, and I'll come back to this later. Take that. You can add that to your journal. Well, I don't journal. You're already effing up. I'm just saying. I could take that right there and add it to day one. I could take that and send it to Audio Pen to have it pull out what I said and turn it into a text file, which I can put, right? I can just keep a folder of all of these videos in whatever video capturing system that I have, Google Notes, whatever, Google Keep, whatever. And again, it's all there. So yeah, just if you like, I can't do it, it's too hard, man, just record it. Just record it. I bet you a whole bunch of y'all got some voice memos in your phone where you done recorded something in the voice memo, your ass ain't listened to it. Go back and listen to it. And be like, man, I forgot all about that. So if you've been a feverish note capture person and you captured all of these things, try just go back in your notes on a Sunday with a joint or a glass or, book or some coffee, whatever, and look at your old notes and be like, I wrote that down and I ain't did that yet. Oh, man. Now, listen, I'm going to copy this out of my notes and paste it to the screen because this is super important so you don't have the same problem that we all been facing. Capture only what actually resonates with you. This is going to be the hardest part of this system, but a lot of us, myself included, have grabbed all myriad information about all myriad things, and then you look at it later and be like, what I wrote that down for? Because it didn't resonate with you. And one of the ways you know it resonates with you is when you go to capture it, you can actually remember to add that sauce. If you have the ability to add some sauce with it, it probably does resonate with you. If you capture it and you don't have anything to add, you don't have anything from the again, it's pronounced Zettelkasten. I don't know, my German is horrible, but Zettelkasten, Zettelkasten. Let me put that on the screen so y'all can see. I'm gonna type it into Google, see if I can do it right. Zettlekasten. Bam. I did it right. There's not even a typo. Oh my God, he did it correct. If you want to cheat and not read no books, you can just probably Google this and get some videos on about that. But this is what it's called. This is why I still use cards, 3x5 cards. I grew up like that. It was a thing still. And Aubrey, I'm curious, as a person who had to get their memory back after your accident, did you learn about any of this from your doctors? Because, yeah. Anyway, that's it. Yes, capture what resonates. That is the secret sauce, right? So if you're able to add your own little swag to it, it probably did resonate with you somewhat a bit. Now, let's go back again to this creating your own perspective, adding your own sauce to it. That is going to bring us down to this distill, right? In the distill process, this is just like making whiskey. I like this part. All right, so let's pick on microphones. So I'm in the market to buy a brand new microphone. No, I got a lot. But I captured a video from Buck Nasty. I captured a video from Doc Rock. I captured a video from Podcast Stage. I captured a video from Booth Junkie. And what I mean by that is I watched all of these guys and I heard them talk about various mics. And so now on the table, I'm looking at the Rode Procaster, not to be confused with a podcaster. I'm looking at the Shure SM7B. I am looking at the Heil PR40, and I am looking at a Neumann U87. Now I got all of these. What do? Right? Some people will take the notes and they go, okay, I got a dynamic and then I got a condenser. Okay, the dynamic microphone means a whole bunch of technical stuff, but basically what I'm getting out of these people is that it's one of the best if you need to reject some outside noises. If you got little children that be making noise, boom. Condenser mic requires phantom power, and it's what they use in studios, so they can tend to sound better, but you got to have a pretty sterile environment in order to do it. So I'm going to distill that down to fans, noises, air conditioner, dynamic, quiet, soundproof, good audio interface, condenser. So like I took all of the information from all these people and I whiskeyed it down to just what I need. Now, the next time I refer to my notes, I'm going to bring it down even further. I'm going to bring it down to even a less common denominator. If I'm going to recommend the dynamic microphone to somebody, I am straight up picking the SM7B or the MV7, which is this cheaper alternative, or the Pod mic, which is the cheapest alternative. If I'm going to recommend a condenser mic to somebody, I'm going to put them at, a Neumann, or then a Telefunken, and then a Blue Ribbon, not to be confused with the Yeti. I mean the real Blue company, right? And so now I made that even smaller. And then I'm going to come again, and I just, easy peasy, cover greasy. I want somebody to just jump in, USB oriented, no interface, but still sound good. Boom. MV7, done. So like I've added my own sauce, and why these are my sauce, I've taken this information from these various people, and now I have it down to something that I can spit and regurgitate like business, right? A lot of people regurgitate stuff without adding their own sauce to it. And then later on, you ask them, they can't recall it. Why? Because it's been so far removed since they first just repeated something and now don't know why I repeated it. They just been saying it because it sounded good. And now they don't know why. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to put these notes in a manner that when you go to distill it, you can take the key elements and make it the main points. And every time you come back to it, you take those elements and you refine it, you refine it, you refine it until you get down to that elegant single malt. And now you can store it in a barrel for 12 years and make it doper. Now you can make that part of your thing, right? So I feel fraudulent. I'm not able to explain things like that. Personal experience. That is because, and I've been there too. I've been like, oh man, I can't really explain it. It's because you're on you capture something, it resonated with you, but you never took the time to put your own spin on it, right? So, I did not come up with this analogy, but I use this analogy all the time because it hit like a ton of bricks. Dina, if I remember, came up with profiles is a house, scene is a room, overlays are furniture. If I remember correctly, I got that from Dina, but it hit like a ton of bricks. I use it in my demo every freaking Friday. Every freaking Friday without fail, I can use that because it resonated, boom. And then I added my own sauce, like you can go here to buy furniture and, this is an area rug, put in the background scene. That's my sauce. But the overarching theme came from Dina, right? Oh, that was Paul started it. I got it from Dina. But if Paul started it, gangster. Give that man some credit because he don't got much time. Look, one of y'all people need to. Paul, was it you or was it Dina? Y'all try to get me in trouble with Dina. I ain't not trying to get hit with like a long rope of garlic. Some tell me that shit hurt. Anyway, so yes, it especially like I'm glad Dina's here, right? If you go to grandma and be like, Mima, okay, see, y'all try to get me in trouble. If you go to grandma and you're like, Mima, show me how to make this pancit. And she'd be like, all right, bet. All you do is take this, and this, and you do this, and then you boil the noodles for like 2 minutes, and then bam. And you be like, thank you, grandma. And you eat because you don't want to get slapped. You be like, she ain't taught me nothing. Why? Because grandma can do it from muscle memory because grandma been doing it since Paul was born. Grandma and Paul was in the same homeroom. So she could just spit it out like nothing because it's in there, right? So when you get it from grandma, you're going to have to take what she said, distill that down into the different parts, and then recreate it. And yours won't take like hers, but maybe you can add your own little sauce that makes a difference. So instead of a traditional pancit, maybe you're going to add more vegetables because you want to work whatever seasonal vegetables came out of your garden. So I'm calling this silver lining pancit because it's not just a pack, it's the pack plus whatever was fresh from the garden. Or maybe you came up with a hot chili oil where you let some chilies go down and you hit them with that, that ginger and that oil, and they pour it right over. And then, oh my God. Japanese, we say it ayu. I think in Chinese, they call it layu. I think there's another name for it in Shaoxing cooking. I forget. But hot chili oil is gravy. Like it's the best thing running bread. Running bread, sliced bread, running water, sliced bread, running bread. Okay, Doc, let's move on. Okay, let's get down to the last one. Boom, and we out of here. Express. You know what? Move the damn graphics out the way, boy. The last one is express. So you captured it, you organized it, you distilled it, and now it is your turn to express it. Now it is your time to let it come out in a manner that makes sense to you. Now you can put it into action. Running bread. Sorry. Sorry. Now you can put it into action and make it work, right? So as I'm getting, like, the book goes deeper into other sections, and it's about building a way to capture all of these things and interlink them so you can find them. Like, we live in a place where we're getting a lot of info, but man, if you can't put that info into use, it's not doing you any good, right? At some point, I mentioned this in the short the other day, at some point you got to stop testing and let it loose. At some point you got to stop trying and then just go live. At some point you got to stop, doing beta tests here and there, and you got to release product. You got to ship. At some point you have to ship. One of my really, really good friends, Eric Nakagawa, pulled me to the side one day and he said, man, as a tech person and a general human being, you're super dope, but you got to ship your product. You keep having great ideas and you'll start on them, but then you'll get stuck in trying to, bring them to fruition, and you never do. You got to ship. Even if it's ugly, you got to ship. You can always reiterate. You can always, do better. You can always update it, but it's better to put it out there than to keep. If you don't ship it, it's never going to become. That changed my trajectory. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to tell Eric what that means. Maybe I got to clip this portion of the video and send it to my boy. But Eric, a long time ago came up with the website Can Has Cheeseburgers. Right? You guys remember with the little cats in the jokes, some of the OG memes back in the day. And from Hawaii, but have been working in the Bay on a myriad projects. And yeah, when Eric told me that I had a bunch of failed to launch startups where, I had started it, went through all of the process, made a bunch of things, got a lot of, attaboys from the community, was living high on my own supply, living high on the Tinkerbell juice, but never really shipping something out to the wild, because shipping it out to the wild meant that everybody can get at it. You know what I mean? Everybody was going to be able to slap it around, not just people that I know, trust, and like, know, like, and trust. Anyway, so first of all, thank you, Eric, for that pull to the side moment. That was a square kick in the pills. And now, I'll let it out. I don't care if it look butt ugly naked on the back of a zebra. I'm going to let it out. Know that I can make it better on the next iteration. So you just make it better each next iteration. So that's that express. Collecting a bunch of info and doing nothing with it. And I'm going to write this on the screen because I love this terminology, and you guys all know somebody that fits this description. And I want to know if you've ever heard of this. Has anybody ever heard of an asshole? I'm just curious. Any of you guys ever heard of an asshole? This is what you'll become if you posit a lot of questions. See, I got people who know. When you posit a lot of questions and you get all of these answers and then you don't do nothing about it. That is the beginning of being an asshole. You do not want to be an asshole, right? You want to put, you guys remember Certain Oils Devoid of Funk? There's a line in there. Put this snoot to use, you mother. If you guys, anybody who remembers who Certain Oils Devoid of Funk is, you and I are friends. Because that, my friend, that was my life back in the day. That was one of my favorite LPs. Anyway, definitely put yourself in a position to bring all of this stuff to wait, D and Daniel did a whole session at Vid Summit. Oh, really? Oh, my God. I want to know it. I want to know it. I want to know it. That is so good. Oh, my God. I got to see that. That would be just great. I'm going to ask Daniel or D. D is my doppelganger from another father. I want to yeah, I'm gonna ask them if they got that on tape somewhere because I got to see that. That would just be hilarious. Anyway, let's cover this again real quick. So you want to capture everything, like capture anything that resonates with you. If you feel it, capture it. For right now, use pen, paper, Apple Notes, videos, whatever. But put them somewhere where you can collect them and collect them in a manner where you can start to stick them together. That's the organized side, right? So organize these again, use whatever you already have. One thing about the capture side, try to capture what actually resonates with you. Don't just write everything down verbatim. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't capture it. And then when you do capture it, remember to add your own little sauce, right? Add your notes, add a little something that make you feel a certain type of way. Let me do this because I just feel weird. If it hits your bricks in a certain, on the next block, as they say, if it has you hitting switches on the next block, go ahead and write that down. Write the how, the why. It's also good to, if you can, write down the time and place you got it. Write down who said it. Boom. You know, it's very, very good that you get it in your system. Okay. Now we're going to put this into organize, but again, organize it in a manner where you're able to link these ideas together. Use what you got. If you're on Apple Notes, stay there. If you're on Notion, boom. Click up, boom, whatever. The bigger apps make it easier to keep these things connected because you can use interlinks and whatever. But there's actually a way now to link an Apple Note to another Apple Note. Right? Maybe I'll have to make a video or something to show you guys how to do that. But it's way easier to do this stuff now. I heard of an app the other day recently, and it was called Endless Paper. So I'm going to just make a comment so I can show you guys this after this is done. Endless Paper. See that ability? Somebody once posited, like, how does Doc have all of this information to just quick recall? And I don't know if that was Chris Stone or Jim Fuse. One of them was like, how do you just be knowing these things? And it's because I capture everything that comes to my brain that sounds of anywhere decent. I capture it. And then I was getting a little messy with the organizing, which is why I'm into this Tiago Forte thing now, because I have so much info. I got to tighten it up, and I have info in 7 different systems I need to tighten up. So that's the organized side. Again, start in the beginning, start with what you already know. But set your ideas up in an organizational pattern that allows you to store them for future reference so you can come back to them and you can do something with it. So now distill. Distill means to take the key element points of this system, and every time you revisit your notes, break it down into a smaller, more easily defined and easily repeatable chunk, right? When you start out your business, right, they tell you, come up with a 7-word slogan, back it down to 5, back it down to 3, right? That's the same thing. So you're going to take this information, you're going to get all of the key elements of what was said, you're going to keep the main points, and you're going to bring it down like a good whiskey. And then finally, express. Express is how you're able to take this information and put it back out in the world. And now it has your sauce, your flavor, your share on it. 9 times out of 10, once you re-express something that you've learned, it will resonate with you further and deeper and stick with you longer. So the secret code: capture, organize, distill, express. Now, I'm going to highly suggest that you go and get this Tiago Forte book and start looking into it. If you're lazy about books, hey, I feel you, fam. He has done a bunch of interviews on the interweb. He has a channel itself. He has a company called Forte Labs. I believe you can subscribe to his mailing list just to get him dripped on your face like that. Don't go there. I should have said it that way. But yeah, there's a bunch of different ways that you can get yourself at least in the umbrella shade tree of how to get better at capturing. Because listen, there's probably other systems out there, and if they work, cool. But we all are mad guilty of collecting way too much information, like we're freaking hoarding it, and we can't do nothing about it. We couldn't, if we wanted to, do anything about it because we've been hoarding mad information. I know because I was just looking the other day at a collection of books, and I'm like, yo, I gotta do something about this, right? Like, it is insane. I mean, all the shelf help books, like, just stacked. And so as I started going through and realizing about, I got to take some stuff and drop it off to friends of the library and, start letting some things out. What I was looking for my kanji dictionary, which I haven't busted out in forever, ever. I was like, yo, I need to, brush back up on my kanji because I'm losing my game. Eden, can you read any of these? I mean, by we, I mean they stole it from you. So I'm just curious. Yeah, as I was looking for this, I looked at that stack of shelf help books and I'm like, oh, here's another. Oh, this is good. Oh, I can use this in my lessons. Oh, this is also good. Oh, this is good. Which one? I lost the page now, dang it. I just pulled a random page. uh, which one? Anyway, so that is a thing. I just wanted you to know that I feel you. I'm in the same position. I have collected way too much information and then forgotten half of it or bump into it later and then be like, oh man, like I should have known that. And it's because we cannot help but collect all of this information time and time again, thinking that we are going to come back to it and we don't always come back to it. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm doing a social experiment right now. Eden, do you know what this says? I'm just curious if you know what this says, because this used to be my kanji in Japan, because the Japanese pronunciation is toku. Doku. Toku. But it's just funny to me. Yes. Oh, see, I told you, Japanese stole it from Chinese people, so you can read it. But yeah, nice to me. It was funny to me because I was the person teaching all of my friends how to do all the stuff that they were too. I don't know, goody two shoes is not the right word, but they grew up in the country, so they didn't know anything about like sort of bad city behavior or whatever. But the actual pronunciation of this kanji is doku. And so that's how you do my name in katakana. It's the same. So like I just adopted this and my friends used to just think it was the funniest thing. So because, normally they say in Japan that when your family gives you your kanji, like here, we just name somebody, like we just name you Eden, right? They don't necessarily have a story behind it. Sometimes it's from a family member, whatever. But like, Brady, he probably got named Brady for whatever. Like it might not actually be some kind of connection. But in Japan, they sit down and they think of, we're going to put these two kanjis together and this is going to be your name and your name means this because of this. And there's like a backstory in the whole 9 yards. So it was even more funny that I adopted this as my kanji because I'm the one that was corrupting my friends. So I was the poison. It's kind of hilarious. And thank you, Eden, for being able to read that. Not like I was downing, not that I was doubting your Chinese. That's super funny. That's super funny. Anyway, let's get done what we're done with. I appreciate you guys. I hope that somehow something that we talked about today actually resonates with you and you can find a way to just put all of the information that we're collecting to better use so that you can create something dope and put it out in the world for the rest of the world to see. Because I know y'all got it in there. Oh, damn, that's a shame, Eden, because I'm on like 5th. So we're going to have a... The Japanese pronunciation of husband and prisoner is very close. Oh, that is funny. That is so funny. You know what? A OneNote to me is I wish OneNote for the Mac was as good as OneNote for the PC. I still think I'm gonna get fired for saying this in public. OneNote is one of the dopest apps ever. I used that all through college because we didn't have no choice. It was brand new back then, and it was good, and it's only gotten better. So, yeah, OneNote is definitely worth the trip. Okay, so anyway, uh, yeah, you guys got any questions? This is your chance to drop it in. Let me know. Let me know real quick, and then I will give you a couple of minutes. Uh, yeah, OneNote, but the OneNote for the Mac doesn't have the same flair. I guess now it's all web based, so you should be okay with it. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I'm curious. I should look back. The OneNote was so good, man. hmm I was trying to remember what Jeremy was talking about, and he meant Shujin versus Shujin. So, yes, I never put those two together, Jay. Hold up. I never put those two together. That is super funny. I'm going to see my friend Tomo today. He's flying in from Japan, which is funny because I'm flying out tomorrow, and I haven't seen him in like a year and a half, maybe. And so, I'm sorry, Taka, not Tomo. Tomo is a brother-in-law. When he comes in, I'm gonna be like, yo, man, did you know? And he's just gonna laugh at me because they don't think about this all the time. But yeah, I'm coming to Boston. I'm coming to Boston. This week's demo will be live from the Ecamm headquarters. All right, cool. Looks like nobody got no questions. Hey, thank you. Boom. Yo, man, I'm telling you, these are so good. K Walk, like you will love this. And I mean, you think about it, you guys have done this by trade for years, right? When you go and get some information, especially like a history teacher or a media teacher or somebody that's more working with things that are ever changing, not just, reading, writing, arithmetic formulas for the most part until they came up with Common Core has been the same since Pythagorean, right? But when you're dealing with history or science or geopolitical studies, whatever kids is learning these days, a lot of that stuff, the teachers have to go and get all this information and all these resources from all these different places and bring them back and structure them into a lesson plan to get that lesson plan approved by the board so then that they can turn around and teach it in school, and they got to redo it again the next summer because something else done changed, right? I'm not talking to you, Siri. Wow. So teachers do this all the time and might not even realize they do it. That's straight up College of Ed 101, right? So super interesting. Boom. Yeah, can't wait to October. We're gonna have a blast. Somehow we're going to prison. Yes, K Walk, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Maybe we'll talk about this on a future stream. We'll dig deep into freeform. I am going to be doing a class in September once the OS becomes real deal, for real, for real. I'm going to be doing a Sonoma class and an iOS 17 class as related to creators, right? So we'll have iOS 17 for creators, and we're going to have Sonoma for creators. Paul, I was just thinking the same thing. Who's going to bail us out? Because you're going to be with us. You're about to be with us. Boom. Yes. Anyway, fam, I love you guys. Let's pop in the Discord real quick. I will see all you members kicking it in the Dissy, and I will see you guys Saturday from Boston. Hopefully, I can get the studio put back together in one day. Anyway, love you. Peace out.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine.